Hi guys. Okay, so I'm in my kitchen. It's kind of a chilly day. It's Saturday and my husband has been outside working on our car all day. So I've been at home cooking a meal so we can have an at-home date. So we're gonna watch Wall Street tonight because he wants to go see the new Wall Street, but I've never seen this before. And I've cooked a pot roast because it seemed like a good chilly sort of day meal to make. So pot roast with winter vegetables, and I filmed that, so it's kind of a cooking demo video. Something new for me, but I've been wanting to try it. So if you want to see how I make pot roast, I think it's pretty good. Then watch the video that's coming up. Okay, bye! Okay, second attempt because my pot like exploded. Apparently there's something wrong with it. So I have put about a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil into this frying pan, and I'm going to just brown my meat and get it really nice and caramelized on all sides. So okay, so now it's all nicely browned on all sides. You want to get like a nice brown crust like that. Just like on this side. Nice and brown. I'm going to transfer it to a plate. So I have some of that oil left and some of the fat drippings from browning the meat, and I'm gonna add a few, 3-4 tablespoons of flour to that. So when that's cooked a little, I'm going to add a little bit of beef broth, just a little, to deglaze the pan with, and scrape some of these brown bits off the bottom. So I transferred this to a big pot because I kind of had to improvise when my other pot exploded. So I'm just going to add the rest of this beef stock in there now that everything's incorporated. So it's a whole quart. I'm going to put my meat back in there. Now that I have the meat back in there, what I'm going to add to the pot is 3 cloves of garlic, and I'm just going to pierce the side of them with a knife just so they can soften up and release their flavor in the broth. A bouquet garni, which I have not tied because I don't have any string that I feel is cooking safe. I don't have any cotton string, so I'm just going to throw it in there, but they're all on the stalks. This is thyme and rosemary, and they're easy enough to find later, and some bay leaves. So that's what everything should look like in the pot, and I'm just gonna let this cook uncovered until it comes to a boil, which, well, not, you don't want it to boil, till it starts to simmer, which it looks like it's doing just about now. And once it starts simmering, I'm going to turn it to low and cover it and let it cook for 2.5 hours about. I'll come and look at it again in a couple of hours and see how it's doing, and then I'll show you
which vegetables we're going to put in there. So when the meat has been cooking for about 2 hours, it's going to be almost done, but it's going to need more time. So for that last 45 minutes to an hour, I'm going to add my vegetables in. So the vegetables I'm going to use are parsnips, celery, carrots, and onion. So the 2 hours is up, or it's actually been a little longer, and that's what it looks like. The meat is pretty well done, but maybe not quite to that sort of falling apart tender stage. So now we're going to add in the vegetables and cook them in this broth with the meat until they're tender. So here are our vegetables all cut up. The carrot, celery, parsnip, and onion. So I'm just going to put that in. And where is my spoon? Okay, I'm going to just get them all into the broth. All right. And then going to cover it and cook it again until the vegetables are tender. So it's the cooking time is up. The vegetables are all tender, and I've removed the meat from the pot. So now what I have is kind of a broth with the vegetables in it. And if you like, you can just leave it like that and put it over potatoes. But I like it a little thicker than that, so I'm going to use probably flour and bring it back up to a boil and make it more of a gravy sauce type thing. So I will... Okay, so what I've done is make a little slurry in a little Tupperware container with water and a little flour, and I shook it up so that there weren't any lumps. So then I'm just going to pour that in there and give it a stir. And I'm going to put the heat back on under this. So it came to a boil, and here's what it looks like. It's all thick and gravy-like. Before I made the gravy, I removed the herbs that were still on the stems. Some of them come off, and that's okay, then they're just in the gravy. And the bay leaves and those 3 whole cloves of garlic. So we just had their flavor, but not any of the actual pieces. So this is the finished gravy, and I'll show you how to put the whole plate together, and then we're gonna go eat. Normally you would probably eat this on mashed potatoes, is what I would say, but I don't like potatoes, so I have made mashed yams. That's them right there. And so I would just start with some yams. I'd like to do it in a bowl because it has lots of sauce, so a few yams in the bottom. My necklace almost went in the yams. And then I sliced the meat, and I did kind of a poor job of it, but please bear with me. And I'm just gonna put a couple slices of meat, maybe one more little piece. Just arrange it on the yams. And then a nice big spoon. I get lots of veggies because I like the veggies. And that sauce. And just put a couple good spoons of sauce and veggies over the top. And I just use a fork because the meat comes out pretty tender. If it doesn't, you can use a knife. But that's the finished plate. And I can't wait to eat it and have a date with my hubby. So hopefully you can try this out if it looks good to you, and let me know what you think.